some profiles, and some people will grow in their profiles. And um, that's about it for right now. Next.
We actually just started, guys. So.
Wow.
Go ahead, Ren.
Okay, restarting that. Hi, we're the MIXINVIXENS. And I guess I did a whole spiel for nothing. But I am here. I am Rin Vapes. And pretty much everywhere Rin Vapes. And I would say my specialties in mixing are fruit. And I do like tobacco as well. Not so good on bakeries. I mix very low percentage-wise. And yeah, that's about it for me. I don't know how much of Jen's spiel got aired, but I don't know if you want to go again, Jen, and introduce yourself.
I think so, because I'm looking in the chat right now, and I don't know how delayed our chat is, but they're saying that they can't hear sound. Is that correct? I mean, I'm just seeing everybody saying they can't. They said the sound is really low. So, what else? Super low. I see Shindo says hiya. No sound. I think that. Let's see if we can fix that.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll just continue talking so it's not just you guys staring at us. This has been pretty much the theme since we've started. Like everything that could go wrong pretty much has. So I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's been fun though. We thought we'll be ready when we get it right, but you know, growing pains. First day. Alicia, do you know if we've got sound back yet?
It's looking like it's better. Should it go up anymore, guys, or?
I think so. I mean, I think that we need to let the audience tell us if that's good enough.
Says that we sound much better.
Who said that?
I can't hear you, Leilani, at all.
Yeah, Leilani, you're really quiet.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Who's muting me?
You're not muted. It's just really low.
It's really low, like from our side. Like we can't hardly hear you either.
Fix your stuff, Leilani. I guess I'll introduce myself since you guys can hear me fine. I'm Alicia, or Exclusive Girl. You guys probably know me from like Green Tea Kit Kat. Maybe you've tried that watermelon apple one I have, Grab Apple by the Melons. But yeah, I mostly like to make some like weird, interesting mixes. I haven't really been on the scene for a little bit, kind of been off the radar. So I'm back. But yeah, I mostly, I guess, also mix like fruits and stuff, but I kind of avoid tobaccos and creams.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
We can hear you now.
I can hear you, Leilani.
Live and clear.
Much better. But yeah, I avoid the creams mostly. But yeah, let's see. Let's listen, girl. All right, I think you can go now, Leilani.
Sorry, Alicia.
You're back to being quiet again.
What in the mess? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Mayday. Red Robin.
Still pretty low.
I tell you what, our viewers are going to watch this if nothing else for comedy relief. Everybody can look. They're saying all kinds of funny stuff in the chat. If you look, Chris Wick says this reminds him of Pitch Perfect.
I'll just keep talking when Jen's talking. I'll introduce Leilani, I guess. Leilani is going to be our guest for a little bit. Emily will be in at some point in the future. She's ML Nikon. She's on Noted and whatnot. But Leilani is kind of just filling in for now. She's been mixing not for a super long time, but I do think that she's very dedicated and going to be really good at mixing if she isn't already very soon. Because just because you've been doing something a while doesn't mean you're good at it. I'm kind of proof of that. Anyway, yeah, that's it for that. Hopefully at some point she can step in. For some reason our audio is kind of screwy. Anyway.
So let's explain a little bit about what the show is going to be about, just so that everybody is on point with that. We basically we had a profile to work with. We put the picture on Facebook this last week. It was a raspberry crepe. Each one of us created that profile how we would normally do it, and today we're all going to present it to you individually with the recipes that we created. Rin?
Hi.
Do you have anything to add to that?
No, ma'am.
So based off of these profiles that we end up making, on the 5th episode, the judges that we have are going to go ahead and determine which winners of the month are. So each of us are going to submit our favorite recipes that we each individually created over the course of the month. And yeah, whichever one they like the best, you'll end up seeing it on the MIXINVIXENS ATF account and ELR account. And yeah, you get to also vote on which one you guys think is the favorite. I guess that'll be like a popular vote or something. So what's the popular vote might not win that month, depending on the judges, but you know, we'll see.
That's exactly right. And another thing to keep in mind is that we want you guys to participate with us. So if you find a picture on, if you have a profile that you've been struggling with that you want for us to try to tackle for you, if you would post a picture to our Facebook group, that would be fantastic, because then our the judges, the boys, they're gonna look at those pictures, and they're gonna be picking out of the pictures that you guys submit there, on top of other pictures that are getting submitted from the DIY community everywhere. So please go to our to our Facebook group, post the pictures of the profiles that you would like to see us make, challenge us. Each one of us has a different strong suit. Alicia, what is your strong suit? Did you say it was?
Mostly the weird recipes, weird profiles. I like to come up with like unique stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of where the green tea Kit Kat came from. But like, and then of course, like a lot of fruits and stuff. I like vaping fruits because I'm allergic to them. So I can't really eat them. So it's like a way to get the flavor without actually hurting myself. So. You mostly vape tobaccos, right?
No, I actually mixed a lot of tobaccos. I vape strawberry and creams for a lot of the times. I like creams and fruit mostly. I don't like bakery too much, and the only bakeries I do is adding a little bit of bakery to my tobaccos. So that's where the tobacco thing comes from. However, I started out with mostly tobacco, so I am pretty familiar with all tobaccos ahead of time, and then but for my all day vape, it's actually a strawberry. It's drunk punk pretty much. It's on ELR. It's a strawberry cheesecake that has a little bit of bourbon in it. So I do like deeper, darker vapes rather than sweet. Well, that's a lie. Lately, I'm all into candies. I think that's the newest fad, is all kinds of candies. I don't know. I do anything. Just bakeries kick my butt. So this last week was a little bit difficult for me.
Yeah, getting the bakeries on this one where it wasn't too overpowering was difficult. I only made 4 versions of the recipe, but like each one, like it was hit or miss. Like the creams really messed it up too, so I ended up having to mix the creams on mine. I couldn't
Did
get
you
them to
really?
play right. Yeah, I mean, I have
Rin,
there's like only a hint of a cream in one of them, but it's not really a cream. So
yeah, I build mine out of cream and turned the cream into a bakery. That's the only way I know how to do it. So, I'm a complete weirdo. Rin, how did you do yours?
pretty much.
Sorry. As far as my crepe is concerned, it's probably my 6th version of it, but that's counting the profile recipe.
Oh yeah, tell them about that.
The original theme or whatever of the show was completely different than it is now. And we had a profile recipe that we were all going to base everything off of. And then each person would be designated a certain part of that recipe to work on. And our base recipe was absolutely awful. So yeah, trying to work with a base recipe that's completely awful, like no matter what you do to your part of it, it's still awful. It was quite an ordeal. So yeah, we kind of scratched that recipe out completely because cinnamon Danish swirl apparently just overpowers everything that you put with it. So essentially I had a raspberry cinnamon roll, which not necessarily terrible, but not what we were going for at all. As far as the crepe is concerned, I've never had a crepe, so that was kind of challenging for me because I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. I guess it's like a pancake. But I kind of cheated a little bit and I used Wonder Flavors crepe as kind of like the base crepe part of it. And then I added custard, whipped cream, and then 2 different raspberries. And I also used Wonder Flavors crispy wafer because I wasn't sure if like the outside of the crepe is kind of toasted a little bit. I'm not really sure. Are we going into exactly what our flavors are?
I don't think so. I was just asking. I was telling the. I wanted you to tell them the disaster story. I wanted to share that.
Oh, it was terrible. And Jen went ahead and made like 5,000 milliliters of it, so now she has that forever.
Oh
No, I dumped it. It became drain cleaner. Hey, Leilani.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Red Robin.
You're here.
Oh, yes. Thank goodness. Yes, I win. But I heard everything, you guys. Sorry about that. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? I tried to introduce you, but I don't think I did it justice.
Oh, you did it justice. Hi, I'm Leilani. I fill out the EOE here because it's an equal opportunity employer at MIXINVIXENS. I just started mixing last fall, kinda, and I haven't been doing it too long, but I enjoy single flavor testing, hanging out with everybody, and you can't really find me anywhere because I'm everywhere. Does that make sense? No, obviously not. I'm hoping to have a really good experience with the few weeks that I'm guesting here so that I learn a lot from everyone. That's who I am.
Should be fun.
Mhm. It should be
Yeah,
fun. I've been having fun for the past 2 weeks.
we're happy to have you here. Yeah, and we're happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thanks
me.
Thanks
I've
for
been trying
filling
to
in.
do my best. Yeah, that's it. What else do you guys want to know? I'm 5'9". I wear a size 11 heel. So if any guys want to buy me shoes, you. Thank you. It's hard. Life is hard. Look at these hands. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you could hear me. Thank you, Addie Tooney. Love you. Okay, let's press on. Are we talking about our recipe?
Yeah, we kind of touched on it. Each one of us did, but we haven't gone into it individually yet.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to start off since you've had the least amount of time on?
Who, me?
Oh, yeah.
The newbie? Ooh,
Yeah, why
my
not?
chest. Hold on, I need a drink. Darn it, the well is dry. Okay, let's see. Well, I found out we were making a raspberry crepe not too long ago, so I had to buy raspberries. I had to buy lots of raspberries. I only had one. So last Saturday they came in, and all of you in chat and everybody on the panel knows how I do. I like to single flavor test. I need to know how they're gonna act. They're gonna behave or misbehave. So yesterday was a full week steep for all the fruits, all the berries, all the strawberries, etc. All the bases I had down pretty packed, because crepe is basically a pancake with no leavening agent to make it all fluffy and nice. So what I decided to do, where's my recipe? Friction, recipe, click, click. Are we sharing the recipe now? Is that what we're doing now?
Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
Recipe's up.
Friction, show my recipe, display her in all
It's
her
been up.
glory.
It's up the whole time. You're
Is
good.
it up there?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right. All right, let's get this thing started. So you guys see what madness it is. And I put little notes at the bottom. I tested everything in this recipe. So you guys can read the summary. It's long, but I added Belgian waffle. Ooh, it's nice, thick, and yeasty. Buttercream cap at 3.5% because it's a light buttercream. You know what? Bunk it. But reading the percentages. Let's read it. At the very top, you're going to taste raspberry, because the raspberry SC, out of all the raspberries I tasted, hold on, wait. Ooh. Let me show you the madness. Out of everything I tested, all 6 raspberries, raspberry SC was the most authentic tasting raspberry out there. It was actually kind of seedy. The raspberry pure, have you guys tried that? Anybody in chat? Anybody in our panel?
Which one?
The raspberry perillum?
I did.
It's a good raspberry, but it's weak as anything. What's the word? AF? It's weak AF. I hate that thing. It smelled so good. I was like, oh, this is going to be the ish. And I tested it at what? 7.5%. Didn't do nothing. So I decided to stick with the raspberry Real Flavors SC, because that was really authentic. Then I boosted it up with the, what did I do? Oh, forest fruit. Forest fruit, surprisingly, is raspberry heavy with a little bit of blackberry and a hint of blueberry. And I thought that would be a nice correlating note. Then the base crepe is the raspberry shortcake ooh. And I was scared to buy it, right? Because ooh, they're notorious. They're notorious. It's either really good or really like not so good. But I had their strawberry shortcake, and that was good. After tasting the raspberry shortcake ooh, it turned out to be a really authentic strawberry with a light bakery note. So I paired that with the Belgian waffle and added a little bit of the custard premium to smooth everything out. I needed to weigh down the crepe because it was too bready. And at the very end, the supporting notes is the buttercream pure. It's a nice light buttercream. Yes, nice, a little bit salty, all that good stuff. The super sweet, you guys know how I like super sweet. Yeah. And then the powdered sugar. The powdered sugar, ooh, is really, really nice. It's almost like that Pillsbury kind of fake sweet powdered sugar. I guess that would be the name. And that's really good. I liked it a lot. And it adds a warm, like confectionery sweetness with a little bit of a burnt note. And that it's not like a bad burnt. It's like the creme brulee kind of burnt note. It kind of warms everything up and rounds everything out. So that's my recipe. Enjoy yourselves. But fear it. I haven't let it steep a full week. It's only been like a day, but I liked it after a day. The end. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Leilani.
You're welcome.
I love how you dropped the stuff. That was my favorite part.
I do what I do.
Well, it sounds good.
I hope so.
And having a good after a day is good as well, because a lot of people don't want to wait.
It was good after a day, but it needed sweetener because it's the raspberries are too authentic. Like it's almost too pure. It needs to be muddled and to be drowned in sweetness and sugar. I want it to be like sweet savory.
Like to turn it into like a jam, basically.
Kinda. I did try it with the VTA Jam It, but it was too jammy. I don't know what it did. It's like black magic. I couldn't figure out the right percentage, but the VTA Jam It was nice with it, but it was just too slippery. I guess that's the word. That thing was slick. I was like, no,
I've
thank
never
you.
heard
Even
a
my
flavor
friends
described
slippery.
as
No, thank you.
slippery.
Mm.
Never heard a description of slippery for that.
It was, I guess, yeah, like juicy, slippery, jammy. It was like a wetter raspberry than I anticipated. So I just left it out and let the sweetener and the pure powdered sugar do its thing.
Right.
Interesting.
Yes. Sorry.
What did you come up with?
Who would like to go next? Alicia, would you like to talk about your recipe?
Yeah, why not? All right, so I made mine without creams really. So you got mine up, Friction. Want to make sure everyone has it. So basically, like the main ingredient, of course, in a crepe, it's butter. That's like the thing that makes it so different from a pancake. I actually make a lot of crepes. My roommate got me a crepe pan for Christmas. I think because he wants to eat a lot of crepes. So I've gotten to have quite a few like raspberry Nutella crepes recently, but I'm not so great with making a Nutella because it's got a lot of chocolate to it. So I definitely went with like a more traditional, just plain crepe with raspberries and then just like a hint of sweetness to it. So like the main ingredient here that really like boosts like the crepe portion is this weird flavor. It's called butter tart. Like I don't know if I can get that to zoom right, but butter tart smells disgusting, to be perfectly honest. But if you keep it at a low percent, it's pretty good. It definitely helps like add this missing element to crepe wonder flavor. But yeah, so the crepe wonder flavor, I use that as my base. I put that at 2%. I basically just decided on 2% because like that's like the average on ELR, and I figured start with the average, see if it needs to be changed, and it didn't. It ended up working out pretty well. And then for the raspberries, I actually have a really hard time tasting raspberries. Most of them I can smell. Some of them I can't even smell. But the only one I can really taste is shisha raspberry. So I ended up using that at 1.5%, and then I backed it up with super sweet jungle flavors at 1%, and it helped the flavor actually pop for me because again I can't really taste raspberry very well. And then I used milk and honey by Flavora to basically act as a sweetener to without actually being a sweetener, and also to add just a little bit of a creaminess to it. I ended up using that only at 0.5%, so I kept it low. I mean, I could have bumped it up a little bit, but I didn't want it to overpower the mix. But yeah, it ended up tasting pretty good. I liked it a lot. I'm actually vaping it right now. So I've been vaping it like all week actually, which is not normal for me to stick to new flavors all week long. But yeah, the other recipes I made once I did actually bring in creams to it, it killed the recipe for me. I couldn't get the creams to work right. So I got to work on my cream skills. That's for sure. But yeah, give it a try. See if you can make it better. but yeah, it's tasty. Jen, did you want to tell us about yours?
Sure. So for me, it was a complete disaster. I mean, I've been from the first one that we tried putting the cinnamon in it. It just was not something that I liked or enjoyed at all. Then this week I I had one that I thought I was going to submit. It was wonderful, right? But I made both of them sometime last week, and when I went to taste them this week after steeping for about 7 days, it just there was a clear one that was steeping out better. I still believe that it still needs another week and a half, but it was good right away. It was just not as good as until after 7 days. I used I used flavors that I'm very familiar with. I used cookie from Flavor Art at 0.25%. I used a little bit of funnel cake at the recommendation of a very good friend of mine to go with my wow, because I had wow at 2%, but I didn't have any funnel cake in it. I felt like wow, being a donut of sort, is still a bakery, but it's a fluffy kind of, and it has some fried aspects on it. And a crepe to me is fried in a pan, so the wow gives me the fried dough that would be in a crepe, sort of. I added the cookie to it to flatten it a little bit and it not be as fluffy as it normally would be. And then I went out and got a little bit of butter, because crepes
Mm.
typically have a little bit of butter. So my butter is at a very low percentage, because butter can take over if you use too much of it. But it needed that little bit of a layer of butter because wow doesn't have it, cookie doesn't have it. Funnel cake is gave it the chewy, doughy part of it. I use Flora pound cake in it to again get create my bread. I'm almost it's almost like baking for me. So here I needed a little bit of more pound cake with it. The raspberry I chose Flora red raspberry also because that one seemed to be the reddest. Wow already has berries in it, and then I accented with the red raspberry from Flora, which also both of the berries in between those two fall back a little bit with steep because the bread starts to grow in it, the baked part of the crepe. Not baked, but the fried part of the bake of the crepe. And it I think it just really tastes. The vanilla swirl is there just for softness and just to fill out the edges and just to give it the little bit of body. It needed a little bit of vanilla. So it's almost like taking the batter from the crepe and mixing it up and then putting it in the pan. But my crepe seemed to taste a little bit fluffy and it's steeping out wonderfully. It does need sweetener. I didn't add it on the recipe, but I would recommend that you use about 0.25 to 0.5% sweetener. If you're using something like Flavor West, I would go as high as 1%. But if you're using super sweet, I'd stop at 0.5.
Oh, really nice. I haven't tried the red raspberry flavora. How does that taste to you?
The red raspberry tastes candyish to me.
Okay.
Um, it's very red. That's the best way. If you it can definitely take over something, and it can get medicinal at higher percents. I did go all the way to 1% with it, but I've got a lot of bakeries here that are drowning it out. And the wow definitely is the is the flavor that drowns it out the most. So it did need it. Otherwise we wouldn't have tasted any raspberries in my crepe.
Got it. Okay. Let's see.
Rin, did you turn in yours already?
Yeah, I put my recipe to him. I haven't talked about it in depth yet. I kind of got ahead of myself earlier. um, so mine, that isn't my recipe there. There it is. So I kind of, like I said, cheated. I used Wonder Flavors crepe because, again, I don't know what a crepe is like. So I figured I would just kind of use that. I used it by itself at first, but I kind of wanted to add a little bit more butteriness to it. And that's why I added the Innoware custard. Plus, there's crepes that I guess have custard in them anyway. So I figured that would be a good addition. I kept it low because I don't want it to be custard heavy. I just really kind of wanted it to give it a bit of richness and, like I said, butteriness. I also used crispy wafer
by Wonder Flavors. Again, to kind of give it like a little bit of an edge to it, kind of like when you cook it. I also used Red Raspberry by Flavora at 0.5%, as well as Inawera Shisha by 0.5%, because the Red Raspberry by itself for me it wasn't popping enough for me. I wanted it to be a little bit more deep. So that's why I used the Shisha. The only thing about the Shisha, and I noticed it because it was in our profile recipe, it is a bit perfumey. So you do need to let it sit for a little bit. And actually, it's not really perfumey. It's floral. And I don't mind floral, but, that's everyone's, taste. But I do think it's going to steep out. I also use Pastry Zest by Flavora to give it a little bit of, because for me, the Pastry Zest has a little bit of like a powderiness to it, like almost a powdered sugar. And it also has a little bit of like a citrus note to it, which helps with raspberry as well. And then I used vanilla whipped cream, again, for a vanilla note. The Inawera custard, I don't think has too much of a vanilla note, but I wanted that to be in there. And I also wanted to have whipped cream on it because I add whipped cream to pretty much everything. But yeah, I try to keep it down to as few ingredients as possible, but I don't know that I accomplished that. There's still 7, but
that's a reasonable amount. People have like 15, like 20 ingredients for one darn recipe. I'm happy with 7.
I just, you try to keep it as basic as you can, but you want it to be complex, and sometimes you just need to use more. So I don't know. I think it came out okay. Like I said, I don't know what I'm comparing it to because I've never had the food, but it tastes good. It vapes well. Definitely better than our profile recipe was.
Nice. Very nice.
Anything is better than that profile recipe.
Did you ever get to try it?
I just heard what you guys were talking about it, and it just sounded awful. Like,
okay.
See, I don't think the
I'm
viewers know what our
excited.
profile recipe is. Did we explain that? That we, at first, when we first started the show, we decided that we were going to do this one profile and we were all going to work on it together. So we all suggested this flavor or that flavor, and we collabed a recipe that was a theory recipe. We all went on our little mission to mix it and let it steep and then come back the following week and let's talk about it. But when we came back to talk about it, it was a general consensus. It sucked. It sucked. It was a horrible vaping experience. And we were like, okay, this isn't working. We can't really collab like this because we all have completely different mixing styles. So that's when we came up with, we're just going to have to mix our own way and let somebody else tell us which one is generally closest to the profile and the best tasting. So we picked some really smart men with good palates that are gonna be our judges. But you guys in the audience can mix along. You guys have access to these recipes. You guys can mix it and then post comments. Let us know, which one do you think you would mix? Which one do you have the most flavors for? I mean, you can even mix and match it. It's all about having fun with it and making things taste great.
Indeed.
Agreed.
So what were some of your like main challenges, you guys, on this one? Besides not
man.
being able to having actually tasted a crepe before.
Oh, Ren, you go first. Ren, you go first, girl.
I mean, I think that's a pretty big hurdle to replicate something you've never had before. Kind of just look at a picture and descriptions of the item. I don't know. Basically, I was just kind of trying to aim for something that was bakery, raspberry, and good. Hopefully, I have accomplished that. But I don't really use raspberry too much. And then the bakery aspect of it on top of it was kind of challenging for me because I'm not a bakery person. I like more lighter flavors. But I don't know. I think it's good to challenge yourself sometimes, try to step out of your bubble and do something different. So yeah, that was the main challenges for me, not liking bakeries really and not knowing what I'm actually supposed to be replicating.
Yeah, I would say that my challenge was actually creating a bakery that I would vape because I don't like putting out any recipes that I wouldn't be able to vape. So I went ahead and went with what was familiar for me. I had to build it for me. I had to build it from scratch. So I had to go with, okay, what does a crepe taste like? And putting the sweet dough in there and the wow, and then just playing with the percentages to balance it, to flatten it, to fluff it. So I mean, my challenge was actually making a better bakery that wasn't too dry. And that's a crepe is not a dry um bakery. It's not a bakery at all, but it is because I mean, but it's pan fried, so it needed to be moist, but it needed to be flat. It was just a lot of aspects in it. So that's where I came. That's why I used the flavors I used. It was mostly to keep it moist, but there's that word that people don't like. But look,
Moist is fine. Ren just hates it.
Yeah, I don't care for that word. But
I know that's why I said that.
It's a descriptive word for bakeries. I mean, you have to use that word. What are you going to say? That the cake is wet? I mean, no one
I
wants
mean,
to
that's just as bad.
right? Yeah, I
prefer
Anyhow,
wet over moist.
so my challenge was actually creating a bakery that I would vape. I've been vaping it for the last 24 hours to make sure that I was satisfied with it because I would have been tweaking last minute in my lab. I would have been adding this and trying to change that, and then I would have been ready for the show if I wouldn't have vaped it for the last 24.
I think my biggest challenge in this one was actually getting the flavors and being able to mix something up because my mailbox got shut down. I use like a third party mailbox thing to have all my stuff sent to, and I guess the marshals came and shut it down, and so my package never arrived, and then it got sent back supposedly. I don't even think that Bull City Flavors has gotten it back yet, to be honest, but like they helped me out. They helped get the flavors back out to me so I could have time to actually mix something. But yeah, that was a fun 3-week long drama because I knew I needed to get some more flavors and I had a couple of them that were recommended to me. But at least so Rage is a lot of work. He actually helped me out with turning me on to butter tart. So thank you for that. Definitely helped in the mix. But I mean, besides not being able to taste raspberries, at least I knew I had one I could taste. But I'm gonna have to try that red raspberry. I don't have that one. Maybe it'll be one I can taste since it's more candied. I guess we'll see.
Oh, it's definitely flavorful. It's definitely a good raspberry. I don't it just if you go a little bit high on it, it does get a little bit I found it to get a little medicinal, but it's not bad. So I think that the percentage I use, but I mean I'm sensitive too, so you can't go by everything I say because I'm sensitive to medicinal flavors.
Oh,
Looks like
I'm
steamers.
sensitive to medicinal and perfumey notes, and Ren knows. But she and Koppel are turning me on into like the lighter florals, which I'm not against, even though I'm traumatized from eating potpourri when I was young. So I'm not against it. I'm willing to give something a second shot at life. But the Alicia, I keep saying your name wrong. Alicia.
You're
Yes?
still saying it wrong. It's Alicia.
Alicia. I should know better. See, there's a problem. Like I teach school, so I'm always chopping up people's names.
It's a weird spelling. My mom went unique on it. I really like the spelling. You can just refer to me as Lee if you want, if that's easy.
Lily. I like Lily. You can call me Lele.
Oh my
It's so much
goodness.
easier. It's like a melody.
Are we gonna call me Jen Jen?
Jen and Ren. This has turned
no.
into an all-girls show. Now we got to stop talking about recipes, start talking about heels and makeup.
Yeah, there you go.
Bump the recipes. But getting the
It's
flavors
food
in,
season, so
yes.
no heels.
No heels.
I heard
Getting
you
the
had
flavors-
an interesting interaction with potpourri when you were a kid.
Oh gosh. I was at my grandmom's house in Kentucky, and at the front entryway, they always have the little plant, little plant, a little picture of Black Jesus, and then a bowl of potpourri with like mints and candies inside. I walked in, I was like, ooh, candy. Okay. I grabbed a big handful and ate it, but little did I know, you can't eat potpourri. So in with the mint was those little pine cones, and I ate it. I passed out. I was out. Potpourri, that's why I'm traumatized. I can't stand perfume or anything like that. As soon as, when people like spray Febreze everywhere, I can smell it. I can smell it from a mile away. That's why I was so against floral vapes. But being exposed and trying all these new raspberries, I was confronted with my nemesis. And I've learned to tolerate them and appreciate them for what they are. Potpourri. That's okay though. So that's that story. But with this recipe, going back, the only challenge I felt that I had was seeing if I could really taste the difference between the raspberries. I never really had raspberry in a vape, or at least nobody told me. But in this one, I was able to taste distinct differences between the raspberry pure, the barrel, I can't even name them all. Oh my gosh. Barrel raspberry, FA. All right, those are some of my bases. Raspberry black, you know what? The raspberry blackberry in Aware is actually really good, but it's just so, it's really, really strong. It's really, really strong. It's very similar to the forest fruit, except forest fruit's a little bit softer. And the only one that was distinctly perfumey to me was, where are you? Where's my nemesis? Where are you? Where are you? There was I'm not sure which one it was.
You may have too many raspberries.
I have too many. I can't, I have some on my counter too. This isn't even all of them. But the biggest problem was also finding the best base for it. And Jennifer had said it, I wanted to start from scratch. That's what she said. And I agree. I wanted to start from scratch. I like the crepe wonder flavors for sure. It's a really nice crepe. It has a doughy texture, semi-yeasty, but the one thing that I noticed with the crepe wonder flavors is that there's a distinct spice, that nice warm spice. I wasn't sure if it was gonna mix well with the raspberries on top of the buttercream that I was adding. So I decided to leave it out and just try to make my own. I was like, crepe ain't nothing but a flat pancake. So let's try waffle. And the pancake, is very good. If y'all want a nice pancake, plain pancake, no butter, no seasoning, no nothing, ooh's the one. But it's so light, it gets buried under everything. So I had to try to find a substitute. I'm like, what else is doughy and bready? And I'm like, they're Belgian waffle. It's a lot denser, right? But trying to make sure that yeast wasn't so strong was the issue. So trying to find that balanced base was the most difficult issue. And then pairing it with a nice authentic raspberry versus potpourri raspberry or a candy raspberry was the biggest problem. But I think I found a good solution with this raspberry. I just hope it steeps out well. Everybody in chat, brace yourselves. When you mix this, it tastes good right away, okay? This is the thing, it tastes good. Just give it time, because the Belgian waffle takes at least 3 weeks for that yeastiness to drop. It's really strong. But with everything together, the buttercream, the custard premium, the sweetener, and the powdered sugar, it kind of lays it down flat, like it back slaps it across its face and says, lay down. Okay?
I'm almost scared.
No, don't be scared. It's good. Everybody chat, somebody believe me.
Slap.
Please believe me. It's nice. Graham has to taste it anyway. And so does Shindo. So we'll see. So that's the most difficult parts of the recipe that I had. And Lily. Lily. I tried that butter tart, right? I tested it at 0.75%, right? The butter tart, there's a funk.
Yeah, you gotta drop it lower. Go 0.5. So
Girl.
I was talking to Rage about it, and he said that like anything over 0.5 on that one, it ends up like
Who's rage? Who's
overpowering.
raging? Who's rage?
Rage is a lot of work. He works over at Bull City Flavors.
Oh, somebody I should know who's going to get me some flavors? No,
Maybe.
maybe. I'm kidding. But that butter tart, it was recommended. What was it recommended online? 1% to something, I think. I don't remember. But at 0.75, it's strong. So I believe you at 0.5. It was just a strong funk. But underneath that, it was a nice butter aroma. I think it might be butyric acid that I'm smelling.
Yeah, it's got such a funky flavor to it. Like it's not great, but I mean it's you can smell there's like different spices in there.
Yes,
and it's got like a really buttery pastry kind of smell to it.
You're right.
Which is with the spices and everything, it's great for a crepe recipe, I think, because it really does like add that extra like element that you're like a crepe can be lacking if you're going with just a crepe wonder flavor. Which I mean, I didn't single test wonder flavor on its own for the crepe, but like based off of the ones that I tried, it when I didn't have the butter tart in there, it felt like it was missing it.
It felt like it was missing something. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'll give it a shot lower then, because all the time you test flavors, and if you test it just maybe 0.25% stronger, it just warps everything. Like even some stuff tastes like soap, which is really strange, or plastic.
Well, yeah, that's I mean, like with like the FE green tea, that's why it's at such a weird percentage in that green tea mix. Like you have to, if the flavor is like coming out too floral or coming out too medicinal, you got to lower it. And then if it drops off, you have to raise it. You have to find the right balance, and it can take a while. I mean, you can throw a recipe together and it comes out great the first time, or you can work on a profile that you want to have be perfect and keep trying and trying and trying. And it could be your white whale, like Idiot's got his white whale with mangoes. I know he's been trying on that one for.
He loves those mangoes.
Right?
He loves.
Well, he even posted it as one of the profile pics for the Facebook post. So I mean, we'll see. Maybe if the judges pick that one, then we have to try it. But hopefully you don't, because I know he's been trying forever. And
True. Who else didn't? Ren, did you talk about your trials and tribulations? Yes, you did, didn't you?
I sure did.
Yes, you did. So what else do we need to talk about? What else? Let's answer some chat questions. Hello, people in chat. I know you love us and or hate us right now, but ask us some questions. I wasn't paying attention because I can't multitask. What's happening? Kegels? What the heck is Kegels?
Oh, good God.
Is that supposed to be a type of bagel?
Is it a bagel? Oh,
are you guys being funny?
Kegels, but I'm hoping not.
I think that's where they were going.
That's not. I don't think that's how you spell it.
No, it's definitely not. Momo is sleeping.
I'm looking through the chat now. If you guys have any particular questions, just tag us individually if you want us to answer anything individually.
Christopher Koppel asked me, how do you have so much energy? You know what it is? It's the fear of being rejected. That drives me to have a lot of energy and for people to like me. Plus I did push-ups before I came on, and I had a little bit of saucy juice. So I have tons of energy. Next question.
I don't see any other tags in here. Let's see if anybody put any profile ideas on here. Has anybody gone into Facebook yet and put any picture profile ideas yet? Anybody from the chat?
Someone asked what our favorite blueberries were for a fruit mix.
And Copel just said, Jennifer, Soho, Soho. I don't know. How do you come up with a picture for Soho, Copel?
Hello, Mark.
I don't know. You could do a picture of Soho in New York with tobacco.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
That's
Like,
true. The hotel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even just the map of it or something. I don't know.
Someone asked why we did not go with Inawera raspberry.
I can't taste it.
That'd be a good reason.
Yeah, I can taste in a Wera raspberry, the Wera garden one, but it's like I can barely taste it. So I have to use a lot of it, and then it ruins the mix for anyone else who tries it. So
I didn't get the Inawera raspberry, but I got the Inawera raspberry blackberry. I heard some things about that Inawera raspberry that made me not want to get it. I'm like, maybe blackberry would do better. And that the raspberry blackberry Inawera is actually quite nice. It's a little bit lightly floral, but a nice floral. And it's an authentic blend of the two flavors with a soft hint of candy raspberry. I was thinking about using it, but it was a little bit too strong. And I didn't think it would blend too well with every other ingredient. But Rin, didn't you have a good time with that raspberry Inawera?
Yeah, the Molina. It's really good if you use it light-handedly. I find with anything like raspberry cherry, if you do too much of it, no matter what it is, it's gonna go medicinal on you. It's just inevitable. So if you keep it light, I don't have a problem with it. I didn't use it for this one. I don't really know why. I used it in one version, which was the profile version. I just didn't get back to it. I liked the way that the red raspberry popped. It had more pop in it than the Inawera did. So that's why I went with that one.
So Sub Vapes asked, how do we feel about men judging women?
We don't care.
No, they should be afraid.
We don't care.
I think they'll be more afraid of Leilani though. She'll probably win just because of that.
Fear me. Fear me and let me win.
See, the whole thing with having the guys, you got to figure that's a really tough position to be in, to be one of those guys. And actually, I mean, who's going to tell us? I mean, how are they going to inform us which one was the best? Are they going to email it to us? I mean, it don't matter.
But I wonder how they are going to vote. This is going to be really interesting because as much as we had to go out and get the flavors to make this recipe, so do they. And they have to experiment with all the different flavors we put together, and they have to steep it out.
Yeah, but we did the hard work because we had to put it together. They've got 4 recipes to put together, and they can let it sit and then let us know later. But they should be vaping them fresh and with the recommendations we said. So for us, we've only had them for a maximum of a week. Some of us have tasted them after 3 days. So they should taste them in those time frames and then come back at the end and taste them steeped. I think mine will get better with steeped only because I pretty much know my flavors, but the raspberry will fall back.
Oh, okay.
Mine is a lightly raspberry. Mine is mostly crepe. And I debated on the raspberries too because I thought about using plain old TFA juicy raspberry, because that is just, it's like a jammy raspberry, just the traditional original, you know what I mean? And it goes with bakeries. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to use that because sometimes that one with the other flavors I was using with the wow and stuff like that, that one might have been too much. And I was still trying to make it a light raspberry and I wasn't trying to get any of the florals in. So, I mean, I did have a hard time. I didn't use Inawera raspberry Molina because that one, I don't know why. I guess I didn't pull that one out of the box. There is no excuse why I didn't use it. I just didn't. I did try FA raspberry, but it was a little bit dark. I tried several different raspberries. I just stuck with the first one I had tried, and that was the red raspberry. And I just figured I was going to work around that raspberry.
Oh, okay.
I tried all the other ones, but I mean, I just went ahead and stuck with my original idea.
And that's always good to go by. if you have an original idea and you want to stick with it and stay true to that idea, and that's one of the hardest part about DIY, right? Because then you have like your base and you have kind of like how Emily does hers. She starts off with her base and then maybe she'll mix. She used strawberries and cream as an example before. So she'll try to find the right cream base and then she'll start pairing different strawberries together to find something good. But then you start adding other notes, other correlating notes that might enhance the raspberry, maybe a lemon, maybe a hazelnut, perhaps a rum flavor or something like that. And it starts to go left really quick. And so your original vision starts to become warped. But as long as you stick with it and it tastes really good to you, you can always
Agreed.
embellish later and experiment outside. It's just a matter of like how much time do you have? And I think that's
Yeah.
one of the issues that I personally had trying to find the right pairings. Because as you see, my raspberry title is called Raspberried Crepe. It is
Raspberry.
unlike yours. Mine is raspberry heavy. I had crepes, right? I went sailing with my professor about a year after I graduated with his wife. I never went sailing. Why? Because I can't swim. Why can't I swim? Don't ask me. I just can't. So I went on his boat. He had rum, he had cheese, he had crepes, he had jams. He's from Serbia. I mean, this stuff was delicious. And he had crepes and he had all these different types of jams. And he just piled the jam on top of the crepes and he folded it like a burrito. And it was like, let me put my hands down. It was delicious. Crepes are delicious. I wish I took the time to make them. Oh, Whole Foods started selling crepes in like these little packages, but they were expensive. They were like $8.99 for a pack of four. I said, nope. But I wanted mine to taste the way that I remember tasting it with him, because that's the only time I experienced crepes, and Serbian crepes at that. It was just nice and, I'm sorry, Ren, moist and dense and doughy and light, but with that heavy sweet jam. And he had apricot, he had some other kind. Oh, what was it? It was like a lemon banana. It was, I don't know.
Are you going to eventually make a lemon banana and an apricot one?
Oh my goodness. That
Because
might
now
be
you just got me to want all these other crepes, but I don't want to make some. So I'm gonna let you make some and then give us the recipe.
I'll pay somebody in chat to make them for me. Send them to me. Please. But I wanted to make mine raspberry heavy with sweetness and a nice doughy crepe on the back end, because you kind of take the crepe kind of sticks to the roof of your mouth,
Right.
and it was so good. So
See, for me, the way that I develop my recipes is a little bit different. I decide what's going to be my strong note. So for me, it was going to be the bready area of it, and even though I struggle with bakeries, I knew that I had to get the bread, the actual crepe itself right. Um, God, I tell you what, I have to shout out to Jennifer Jarvis because she's the one that introduced me to what was that flavor she told me to try to add in there, the Florora sweet dough. She said, try adding a little bit of that. And when I did, everything fell together once I added it to my recipe. So for me, it was building the bakery, then adding a little bit of fruit for the sweetness. For me, fruit brings in the sweetness, and others might taste the fruit stronger than I do. For me, it just fades in the creams and in the bakeries. So I develop it in parts. Once I knew what my crepe was going to taste like, then I decided how much I was going to add. The fruit comes easy. I had to get the crepe right.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Anybody else have anything else to say before we?
There was one that I saw that I think is good. Demillan wants to know what our favorites of our own recipes are.
Of
What's
my
the
own
favorite
recipes?
Yeah, whatever one that you've created, what's your absolute favorite?
Like of all the recipes I have posted out there? Who knows? It depends. It depends. It's like changing underwear. Every day is a different one. Right now, I am completely in love with sweet guava from Flora. Completely in love with that. I don't care what I put in that. A couple drops of strawberry and a couple drops of kiwi with a little bit of cream. I don't care what I put in there. I'm vaping it. So I don't have a
Sweet
favorite.
guava or pink guava?
Pink guava.
Oh, okay, I thought you said sweet guava.
I might have.
Sorry.
I might have. Who knows? I would say
Clarification's always
Soho.
good then.
I would say just pick
I
one of my
think out
Sohos.
of all of mine, out of all the ones that I have, I don't have very many posted. I kind of stopped posting them because of all the hype that Green Tea Kit Kat got, and it was a little overwhelming. So it was anytime I created something that was decent enough to post, it had already been like thoroughly tested by me and several other people and confirmed it was good. But I mean, the ones that I like the most, they're not actually posted. The ones that are posted, it's Green Tea Kit Kat, and then there's I really like the butterscotch cupcake one. If I'm wanting something more sweet but also still pretty thick, that one's a pretty tasty one. But yeah, the Green Tea Kit Kat though, I probably go through like 500 milliliters of that every 6 weeks or so. So it's like my go-to. It's mild enough that I can vape it all day.
Yeah, and for
What
me,
about
if I
you,
had to
Ren?
pick one that was not a tobacco, but that was still one of my very close to my heart, it would have to be the rum chata de coco. For some reason, I love a Jamaican rum or Kentucky bourbon with a little bit of coconut, and then build around that. So sometimes I have to ask myself why all my recipes taste about the same when I'm mixing them for myself. But I always end up with something with coconut, a little bit of spice, a tiny bit of spice, and either Jamaican rum or Kentucky bourbon. I mean, I like that mixture.
Is it your
And
culture, Jennifer? Because aren't you Dominican?
probably it probably has a
Yeah.
lot to do with it. So my rum chata de coco is probably the one on ELR that I like the most.
Rin, what do you like the most out of all your recipes?
Probably still the banana pudding.
That banana pudding is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's light, but it's still fulfilling. And it's a little bit different because I mean, it's not really a bakery, but it's a dessert, which again is still not something I typically go for. But I don't know, everyone seems to like it. It's also a banana, which is hard because I've only tasted a very few bananas that actually taste like banana and not candy, like runts. So for me, I don't know, that's just the one I like the best. And everyone that has tried it has liked it. So it's nice, I guess.
I do. You know what? That's one of the first set of recipes that I made from you, because besides from single flavor testing, I said I need to start mixing everybody's recipes eventually, at least one or two from each mixer, just so I can see what they're tasting instead of just being super judgmental. Because like I haven't single flavor tested this, so this is probably gonna taste like garbage, but I must learn to trust like a dog or a deer or a rabbit. Trusting. Anyway, so I tried it and it's really that banana. I don't know what it is. The combination between the banana, what was it? The banana bread and the custard. It worked really well. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yep. TFA banana nut bread is bomb.
It is a really good flavor. I like that. Out of, I haven't made a lot of recipes public because I have a lot of failures. I only have, I think, 2 successful posts besides this one. So that makes it 3, I think. I'm not even sure anymore. Out of all of them that I think is acceptable, and I talked about it during Fresh's show, was my Biko sticky rice, which is a sweet sticky rice with creamy coconut and brown sugar. And then I also made a croissant, but I had to adjust the flavors. After a week, it started getting funky on me. So I prayed that everybody forgave me with the original percentage because I adjusted everything. Okay, forgive me. I had to down that egg roll because that egg roll was way too strong. So out of everything that I've made, I think my Biko sticky rice is the best, but maybe this one will be the best. However, all of you know I always say that every time. My new one's gonna be the best one. It's my best tasting recipe to date. Mwah! Yeah, baby.
I think I'm gonna mix that Biko sticky rice. I've never. I didn't even know that was out there, so I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna see if I can mix that this week.
Oh my God, yeah, no.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Oh, I pray for you.
I have a question. Do you guys ever like mix while you're drunk?
I have. Oh my God. That's the
biggest issue
worst.
when I do it is I always forget to like keep the
Write
recipe.
it down, right?
Yeah.
And then
I
you
mean,
can never have that again. And sometimes it's wonderful.
exactly. Like I made like my absolute all-time favorite recipe. I only made a 60 ml bottle of it. And like I made it and then I threw it in a drawer and I forgot about it. And then one day I was like, wait, what is this? It has no writing on it. And I realized it was a recipe I made while I was drunk. And I was like, I guess I'll try it. I tried it. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I need to make this again.
Oh
Looking
my God.
everywhere. Had one note on the entire thing. And I was just like,
I
damn
did
it.
that with a pineapple. I did a pineapple, and pineapple's tough, man. And I made a pineapple cream of some sort, cake, pineapple upside down cake of some sort tasting thing. That thing, I mean, I have never ever been able to recreate that. I have no idea what pineapple I used. I have no idea what other creams I used. It was wonderful. It was like 2 years ago now, and I've tried to clone my own recipe. I failed miserably. And I've even tried doing it while drinking to see if maybe that was the missing link.
Y'all
But it
are
didn't
a
work.
mess. Y'all are a mess. I swear.
And do you know why that happens? Because sometimes when you're drinking, you can't taste your juice. That's why it happened to me. So I couldn't taste anything. And I was like, I can't taste shit. But I must have just been too inebriated, so I couldn't taste anymore. So I went in the kitchen and I created something. And I bet you that it had way too much flavor, but it worked. And I could taste it that night. And then later on, I don't know that I liked it the next day. I don't remember if I did or if I didn't. But I know a month later I found it and I was like, oh, I kind of remember this. It was great. I just don't know what's in it. Never, ever did it again. I probably put like 5% sweetener or something in it. Who knows?
Oh my gosh. I haven't mixed faded yet, but I have single flavor tested faded because I was stressed. I had 20 some flavors and I said, I need a drink. This is just too much. I don't know why I did this to myself. Why do I punish myself like this? Who am I competing against? Why is time of the so I took my cranberry and vodka. I had about 2 good shots and everything tasted delicious. Everything tastes delicious. I don't know what it is. So when I went back, I think week 2, I had to redo everything. Because I'm like, this doesn't taste as delicious as I have wrote down. Words don't even sound right. I wasn't even making coherent sentences. I didn't even know what was. It's a wonderful and devastating experience. I'll tell you.
Well, I think it's wonderful, devastating experience. I think we've gone off the rails, girls. We can't talk all this live. People are watching.
Oh, okay. Oh.
They know we're talking like we're just still in the room by ourselves without everybody else out here.
I think it's time to wrap it up. If there's anything anybody else wants to ask in chat that is vaping related,
yeah, let's bring it back.
Close down the show. I think that would be really nice. Anybody else? We've been going for about an hour and a half. Let's see. Ren, do you spot anything?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'll look too.
Ooh, somebody likes you. Lily. I missed it. Somebody said that blonde girl is banging, but there was like question marks. I don't.
I know what the question was, but we're not saying that on.
Oh, I couldn't.
Yeah, we're not gonna discuss that. We don't need to. It's unnecessary.
So
Only-
we're getting a lot of likes. It looks like we have 65 people that liked us, 102 people watching. Woo woo! Thank you guys. It's our first night and we got a good viewing audience.
How many people are
Yes.
watching? How many people?
They're
like
watching
this?
us live, 102.
Get out
Woo!
of town.
Oh, 102.
How exciting!
Back and forth.
You like us. You really like us. Thank you.
Look, I straightened my hair for them.
You want to
I
know
combed
what
my hair.
we have, I guess, like hardware wise?
Huh?
I mean, the one person wants to know what setup we have hardware wise.
Hardware wise.
Yeah.
I'm using a Minikin and Serpent Mini 25. I've been using this for a year and I got this from a good friend in Canada. He gave it to me and I've been using it since July.
Nice. I'm using it as Modus. I think this is the Minikin too. I don't know. And the Drop RDA.
Yeah, you have the same mod.
We all the three of us have the Minikin going, actually.
Do you really? Let me see.
Yeah,
Not
We
sponsored.
do. Look.
yeah. I've got the,
This show is not sponsored by
it is
Minikin.
not-
By
No,
the
they
way,
need to send us mods though.
yeah, I put it mine. Yeah, if you want to send me a new one, I love my
I love it too.
Oh God.
I love it too. I think it fits in the hand well for for it being a 2-battery mod, it rocks.
I like the chipset in it. I mean, the downside is I do have to change my batteries more often because it like maintains the level of I guess like amps or volts or whatever that it's pulling. So it never drops off like with
Mhm.
other ones. So like the battery dries pretty quickly for me. But I'm also vaping at 165 watts because I'm using a TFV8 Cloud Beast, and that's why my shit keeps getting so cloudy in here. So
Yeah, I'm
I guess
vaping at
I'm
35.
literally-
I'm not exciting.
What's that?
35 is all I vape at, so I'm not an exciting
That's
vapor.
low.
Yeah.
Huh.
My
What
my
do you want,
coil's at
Emily?
0.54.
Oh. Interesting.
I just got a standard Clapton at 0.5 and 35 watts. I
Okay.
can. I
That's
vape
not
at
bad. I know
between
Brent
35 and
actually vapes
55 max.
Mm. Well, I guess I'm literally the black sheep.
Why?
I got the Therion 166, 167 with the black leather, with the black,
Nice.
with the clear tip. You like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm vaping at about 60 watts. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know how people in vape reviews can do that. And I have, yeah. What do I have in here? I'm vaping something else, but I have like strawberry and I have fused stainless steel Claptons that are ohming out to about a 0.35. Which isn't bad.
0.35. Yeah,
Yeah.
I build mine at 0.5 because it's just an easy for
Yeah.
wraps.
I like to
and
save
regular
battery
practice.
life, so I don't like to build too low.
Yeah, me neither. I like
Yeah.
to put 2 batteries in when I leave for work in the morning. I take a set with me in case I need it, but I mean I don't just vape out of one. I have my trusty little beater, is what I call it, because this thing has been through hell. But it goes, and that's an MTL tank, and then I vape out of everything. So even just sitting here with you ladies, I still had to bring 3 mods in case I got bored. Just rotate it.
all right, I'm done with questions.
Okay, I'm done. I'm ready to clock out. It's time to eat. I didn't eat any sodium today, so my cheekbones were snatched. And I'm hungry now. I'm ready to carve
Hey,
out.
let me ask the audience if anybody would like for us to mix anything specifically for
Oh, yes.
MTLs tanks, if they have any what do you call those things, pod systems that they would like for us to maybe create something, because I can throw that in the mix. Like if the audience thinks that that's something that they would like to know, because there is a difference between creating a flavor for an MTL tank and for our sub ohms. I can't mix the same thing. It does not taste right. You lose a lot of flavor in these, or you lose a lot of sweetness, or you only get some of the top notes. So one of the profiles I can mix it up for MTLs for them. But I mean, it would be on if they would like for us to do that. So leave us a note either here or on the Facebook page if that's something that you guys are interested in. I don't mind throwing some of those in the recipes that we create.
So I guess let's wrap it up then. So be sure to post the profile pics that you want, the flavors that you want us to mix up to the thread. We'll create a new one every week so it starts fresh, and the judges can have a better idea of what you guys want right now. But yeah, they'll be on in, I guess, the 5th episode, and they'll tell us which ones are the best. But yeah, Jen, do you have anything that we want to say?
I don't. Rin?
We're supposed to hashtag something. I don't remember what it is.
Hashtag MIXINVIXENS.
How could you forget? That's our.
I don't get the hashtag thing, to be honest. So
Whenever you create a recipe, if you wanted to follow along with the profiles that we're making, just put hashtag MIXINVIXENS in the back of it, and that way when we're searching through ELR or whatever, or even when you post it on Facebook, we can go ahead and see the mixes that you guys put together, so that we might find that your recipe is better than ours. Who knows?
Exactly.
Might even get a shout out when we do the judge show. Who knows?
Yeah.
Also,
I
I want to mention that this show is about improving on recipes and developing recipes. So people in chat, be sure when you see our recipes and you think there needs to be an enhancement or an addition or a subtraction regarding our percentages or the flavors that we have, make a note.
Make a note. Send us something on Facebook. We'll hey.
Yeah.
We're a lot more open to
Wherever
suggestions.
we posted our recipe, whether it's ELR or ATF, in the comment section below, mix it first. Don't just be super judgmental and like, you should have added vanilla shisha or FA vanilla or something like that. Don't be mean about it.
If you do mix it differently, though, be sure to mention that you mix it differently.
Yes.
Because and do the same thing for other recipes that aren't related to our show. Like, always leave a comment or rate them, because there's not enough rating in this community. People just, they mix stuff up and they never say that they did anything with it. They never tell anyone whether they like it or not. And if it's a good recipe and it needs to be reviewed, get a review out there. If it's a bad recipe, then the person probably needs to know that too, so that they can improve on it.
They can grow. And the thing about the good reviews is that there's always somebody looking for a particular recipe. And I don't know if I'm pretty sure that everybody looks to see how many comments there are on there, who has talked about it, what they like, and for them to create it. If it's good, say it so that somebody might know that it's good. Because if they don't see a lot talked about it, they might not make that one, and they might miss out. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Oh, we should wait. No, wait. Before we say bye, we gotta sound off like everybody else. Darn, I said like. We have to sound off and say our goodbyes individually. So, Rin,
do we?
You want to plug your links and say goodbye?
Bye. I'm Rin Vapes. Gmail, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. Bye.
Lily?
Exclusive girl, you can find me on ELR and ATF. They're all pretty much the same recipes on both, though. So, doesn't matter which one you use. Same thing on Reddit. You can hit me up through there if you want to, any of them. I've got Facebook and Instagram as well, but they're, I think, slightly different on the name. So I think there's like an 87 in there or some crap.
Woo!
Oh,
don't fall.
I almost dropped it.
Don't fall.
So I'm the E-Juice Fairy on ELR. I have a Facebook page for the E-Juice Fairy. It's mostly informational. I post on there, it's a boring page. It has regulations, news stuff, things that come out that I read. There's things to debunk when somebody starts talking about how vaping isn't good, this, that, or the other. It's mostly used by my local people here in the town that I live in, where, you know, they sometimes get attacked. Oh, you're going to get popcorn line, this, that, the other. I can direct them directly to one of those links. It's not like it's not a DIY page. It's more of a vaping informational page where I gather information from the web and just throw it in there anytime something comes out on the news. Then I have DIY Juice Flavor Addicts. That's my Facebook group. Where we post recipes, ask questions, any of that stuff. I have One and Done Flavors. It's a one-shot company. I have a partner, and we have that going on too. It's very new, fresh. It's not, anything. It's a starting up type of thing. And then I have these ladies, and I'm excited, and I'm having a blast, and they're hilarious. I'm taking this moment to say that Rin is really funny sometimes. And if you read her stuff, you will die laughing. She will type something down, I tell you. She will talk junk, slam, cash, trash.
She does. Y'all just don't know it yet.
You see her all quiet there in the corner? Don't let that fool you.
Don't listen to her. It's all lies.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, guys, I'm Leilani. You know me. I'm everywhere and nowhere. You'll find me on ELR under Leilani. You'll find me on ATF under Leilani. I'm on a lot of shows where I'm in chat only, and I just talk on there a lot, and I talk smack, and I ask a lot of questions. If you need me or want me for any reason, don't contact me. I won't answer. I'm kidding. Be sure to join our Facebook. I said our, I'm a guest. Excuse me. Be sure to join.
You're part of the team right now. You're part of us.
Okay. One of us. One of us. Okay. Be sure to go on the MIXINVIXENS Facebook group and join. Somebody will approve you. I'll be watching with my good eye. And be sure to also add us on Instagram. And what other? Twitter? Do we have a Twitter? Do we have a tweet?
I don't think we do yet. Not yet. No.
So just
I've not set one up yet. Oh, and guys, this show is what is it that we call this? This show is for entertainment. We don't condone vaping. We don't condone nicotine.
We don't even like vapors.
We don't even like vapors. We don't like you guys.
No, this is all for show. It's all a hoax.
This is all for entertainment.
It's fun.
Yes.
We're having fun. Hope you guys are having fun. You guys have a good night. Yeah. See you guys.
Thank you for joining us, chat. It was really nice. I'm thankful for all of you being here. And we want to thank the guys behind the scenes as well for letting this show go on as smoothly as it did. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Thanks to Graham and to Friction.
And next week we'll
and
probably
Shindo
and Shindo. And
he's over there. He's on our chat on YouTube doing the whole admin thing. What is it they call that stuff?
He's being the band hammer.
Yeah, he's got the little wrench going on over there. No, but everybody behaved so far, I think. I'll watch it afterwards.
We're turning into like the women at the mall in the clothing section. We just can't let it go. See you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.